When you were pitching this to your publishers, you said, hey, I got an idea for a guy who's kind of trapped in space by himself and he's got to like science his way out of it. At any point, did they say to you, dude, you already wrote this book?
Yeah, you already wrote that. Well, I mean, I pitched it to him as like, I've got a first contact story and interstellar travel and stuff like that. And, you know, he's not alone.
Was there a debate about whether or not to reveal the alien in the movie trailers and things like that? Because
there was.
So how did that go? And how do you feel about that they did reveal him?
So there was a lot of discussion about that because, of course, in the book, it's a complete.
I had no idea. I literally screamed at the book.
Yeah. That was the intent. We wanted you specifically to scream at the book.
Perfect.
But that was a big twist. And the readers are very good about not spoiling things for each other. Moviegoers are not.
Oh,
like moviegoers will tell each other everything. And also, like, if we hid the fact that Rocky was in the movie, by now, everybody would be talking about there's an alien in this movie. Like, it would be general public knowledge. So we thought that plus, hey, this isn't just a story about some schlub out in space by himself. This is a story that includes an alien and all sorts of really cool stuff. And that we want to draw people into the theater. Things get a lot more interesting when they find out, okay, there's an alien in this one.
And it's not like a little green man alien. It's basically an anthropomorphized rock.
So I was trying to avoid anything that looked like, you know, just a human.
Not getting your Captain Kirk vibes?
No.
Okay, right.
I wanted an alien that was very, very alien. And so I wanted his environment to be incompatible with ours and vice versa. I mean, shoot, that happens on Earth. Like, if you exchange the positions of a shark and a camel, they're both going to die. Right. And so,
I don't know a lot about science, but I know that is true.
You know that is true. There are very few aquatic camels.
To our detriment. So which comes first when you're writing, the science or the plot?
Usually the science. In this case, I'll figure out something that I want, and then I'll kind of back calculate a way to allow that and try to find the minimum little violation of like real world physics or whatever.
Do you check your math? Do you like send this stuff out to people? Okay.
Well, no, I don't have other people check my math.
You check your own math.
I check my own math. And sometimes I make mistakes, and that's the way of things. There are no lives riding on the line here. It's just a fictional story. If I mess up, I mess up.
I'm a former White House correspondent, foreign affairs correspondent, and in D.C. there is a book.
I'm a big step down.
No, this is incorrect.
Big step down.
Correct. This is the interview I've been looking forward to most for weeks. There is a book club of all former or current White House producers and correspondents in D.C. It's all women. We do not read sci-fi. We read like smart fiction, sometimes less smart fiction. Usually it's a way to escape the news cycle and drink some wine and talk about our families. Someone suggested this book. It was a bit out of left field. My group chat is blowing up this morning with questions for you because they are all completely obsessed with this. Did you know this was going to have such an appeal to folks who aren't necessarily into sci-fi?
Well, I always try to appeal to people who aren't necessarily into sci-fi. I don't go out of my way. It's just my mechanism of storytelling is to try to make it's. I mean, yes, it's a science fiction story, but it's really a story about friendship and loyalty to newfound friends and so I guess my brand or whatever it is I sell optimism. And like I have in real life a very high opinion of humanity, and I feel pretty good about the human species and that I think we're pretty awesome. And so I think that ends up having an appeal to a lot of people. You don't have to be obsessed with science to enjoy these stories, I hope.
I did get some other questions from my book club. One was, did you visualize Rylan being as hot as Ryan Gosling?
I did not.
Okay.
To be fair, though, I don't have a very visual imagination
I heard you talking about this.
Yeah.
This is really interesting to me.
Yeah. So I'm kind of on the aphantasia scale, which means like when I try to visualize something, I get more of a blob. I mean, it's not. So they usually
But how does that work when you're writing?
It's conceptual. Like, so in my mind, what I'm seeing is a concept, like a blob of a person talking to a blob of another person in a sort of a blobby, undefined background. The best way to describe it would be is if you've ever had a dream and, you know, the focus of the dream is you talking to to the magical cat or whatever's happening in your dream. The background, like describe the background. It's like you didn't define it in your head. And so you can't really tell me what's in the background. It's just sort of this blobby. There's something there, but for me, it's also in the foreground. It's just this concepts.
I mean, I personally like that about your writing because it allows the reader to kind of fill in a bunch of those details, which is why I think we were all so interested in seeing Rocky, the alien, because I had a really hard time picturing what that looks like.
I could tell you, oh, he has a pentagonal thorax, kind of, and he has like 5 legs, and they each end in 3 claws. But I don't know, like, if his limbs were skinny or thick, or if they're smooth or bumpy, or if they're symmetrical or asymmetrical. So when I went to the model shop during the shoot, and when I went to the model shop and saw Rocky, that was like the first time I'd seen Rocky. It was like, oh, I get it. Oh, so that's what Rocky looks like. Now I know.
That's incredible. And you and I were talking briefly earlier. It seems like Rocky might be getting better VIP treatment than you on the press tour. Do you want to explain what you were saying to me earlier about who gets the nicer hotel suite?
Yeah.
For our viewers who don't know, Rocky is it's a practical effect. So it's a giant like puppet that's operating. I love practical effects. Yeah.
It's as practical as it gets. I mean, there's CG,
of course,
smoothing of the motions, some, and like some of the finger movements and stuff like that. And there's plenty of CG shots, let's be clear. And also the digital removal of all the sticks and puppeteers and things. But yeah, so at the junket, the media junket for this, which was in LA, I was like, I'm feeling good about this. They got me in a real nice room, you know. It's kind of a suite.
Having your moment.
Yeah, I'm an important guy. And then and then like Rocky's room, because they had a room for Rocky where like reporters could go like talk to Rocky and stuff like that. Rocky got the presidential suite on the top floor. It's a penthouse. So I go up to Rocky's room, and he's got a grand piano in his room, stuff like that. And I mean, the reason is because they really wanted high security around that puppet. It's an irreplaceable prop. It's
they just didn't want you feeling too good about yourself.
Yeah, I know.
Big climactic career moment.
Yeah, and Rocky gets the presidential suite. I just thought that was funny.
Finally, you said you're optimistic about the human race, and one of the things that I also read The Martian, love The Martian. One of the things that I think was so interesting about this book is initially your main character is kind of a weenie. He doesn't want to do the thing.
No,
they make him do the thing. And the arc of his personal growth over time in the book is quite incredible and redeeming. Is that kind of what you're hoping for the rest of us?
There's no deeper meaning. I just wanted to, so I'm always trying to work on my character depth, complexity, and nuance, because I think that's my weakest part of writing. I'm good at the science. I think I'm good at coming up with interesting and compelling plots, but it's my characters that I really need to like level up on.
But I would argue that's where this book really stands out.
Thank you, because that's how I put a lot of work into it, so I appreciate it. And so I wanted to have a flawed but likable character, and I think we've all felt that way before. We've all felt like scared, overwhelmed, and underqualified. I mean,
every day, man, every day.
As a writer, that's your whole life. I mean, you know, give a man a book, you entertain him for a night. Teach a man to write, you give him crippling self-doubt for life.
Oh God, that's so true.
So I wanted to make him relatable, and then he has a redemption arc, and yeah, so that was deliberate. Thank you. I'm glad it landed.
Anything else you want to add about humanity, space?
I'm a fan of both.